Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me on the Whimsy Stamps channel again today. We are going to be making a grown-up Halloween full front shaker card using a lot of products from Whimsy Stamps, some new, some not so new, and a bunch of stuff from This Calls for Confetti. So let's get into it. This yellow and orange panel is actually from my stash. I cleaned up my work surface after playing with the new Distress mica stains, and this is what I came up with, and I decided let's use it. So I wanted to add a subtle script pattern with the vintage script background stamp. It's one of my favorites, and this begins kind of a comedy of errors. So my first error was that the stamp slid, because I often don't put it in my MISTI. But it just, for whatever reason, slid on my work surface on this day, and it created this kind of blurred double stamping, but I'm not mad about it. Like, I think it just adds to that kind of ethereal effect. So you saw me heat emboss it. Now here I'm deciding on all my confettis. Error number 2. I used my icicle crackle paste through the dotty. Wait, I'll have to put the name of the stencil downstairs. I can't remember. But I used the icicle crackle paste, and it is transparent, and it was moot, completely moot. It was pointless. But I did it, and there it is. So error 3, I used the wrong paper to stamp out my image. Now this image is from the Hey Boo stamp set, brand spanking new as of yesterday, August 20th, 2022. But this paper was way too thin. It's not sturdy enough for the effect that I want to do with it later. I want to make this into a wobbler, and it's way too thin for that. So I'll fix that in a minute. And you can see that it wasn't good paper for the coloring either. So he's way too dark, and the way I fix that is use these, they're called eye zinc pigments, and they are opaque. And so you see I'm able to cover up some of that gray so it doesn't look quite as dark. And then of course I had to add some black and white splatters, just had to do that, because why not? The ink was sitting there, so I decided to use it, and then I brought out the black and added some black as well, because I'm going to have some black confetti, so it'll make sense to have some black splatters, have that black color in other places. Here I bring in all my confetti players. I have many, and I will have them all listed downstairs. I was going to use the candy corn. Gosh, words are evading me. I was going to use the candy corn, but I felt it was a little too childish, if you will. So I went with a more grown-up color blend. So error number 4 is that I cut my panel down way too small, because you guys know I don't measure, I don't plan. I just knew that I needed it smaller, and I trimmed it. You can see my excess over there on the right, and it is just way too small. And so I'm putting it in the pouch and hoping for the best, but boom, look at all that adhesive all along the edges. Yeah, I had to go back, so I fixed that by running it through the scorer. So I scored all 4 sides, which in retrospect, looking at it now, I could have just done 2 sides, scooted it down to the bottom left or the bottom right, and had those 2 sides right, and then just scored the other 2. But again, live and learn. And I just try to keep it real with you guys. I didn't show my whole process because we'd be here all day. But I wanted to tell you the truth. Like, I messed this up big time. And this is heavy duty acetate, so it was not an easy fix. You think, yeah, just put it in your score, you score it, you're done. It wasn't quite that easy because it's heavy duty. Like these Bauble bubbles, they're no joke. They are sturdy. But we got it, and it looks okay. And here I'm adding in all of my confetti players. They're actually going on the stage instead of being in the backstage. So I don't know why I tend to use theater analogies, but that's just what I do. So I have all of my beautiful colors, and I have the fun ghosts. I think those ghosties are just adorable, and it just kind of brings all of it together. Now, I did have to go back and use some extra, the strong score tape, because I had adhered everything and then had to pull it back up. And so all of that just kind of took away some of the sticky. But I fixed that by adding some more of the score tape all around the edges on the back, and then I added some all over the back of the panel, as well as some liquid glue, because I just wanted everything to have some really strong adhesion. I didn't want anything going sliding around. But I have pretty much on each step allowed the layers to dry, the layers of glue to dry, because I didn't want there to be any more mishaps. I had enough. So to fix the fact that I stamped this guy out on paper that was way too thin, I just decided that I would adhere the entire image down to another scrap and just cut it out again. And that's exactly what I did, and it made it twice as thick, and he's plenty sturdy enough now to be a wobble. And so this is the sentiment, too old for this sheet. And I mean, our little guy he's hungover. He's got a bottle of booze in his hand. So this is very much an adult or a grown-up Halloween card. Not so much for the kiddos, but I think it's super cute. It's super fun. It's playful. And Whimsy just does Halloween right, guys. And there's so many different ways that you could use this, so many different things you could do. So much inspiration by the design team and the Halloween team. Oh my gosh, I've been loving watching all of their projects, and oh, so much inspiration. So guys, make sure that you hit everybody up over on Whimsy. Just amazing, amazing. It's an honor to be affiliated with these folks. I just absolutely love it. So you can see that I used my circle dies to cut out that vellum panel to give my ghosty a place to kind of land, to ground him. And I used the smallest of the circle dies to cut, no, maybe not the smallest, a small, to cut out the sentiment as well. And you can see that I'm using my, what are they called? Reverse tweezers to kind of hold it in place, kind of like little clamps, and I'm holding everything else down just kind of with my fingers until it takes. And then here we have it. This is my final card. Again, it's definitely a grown-up Halloween card. Too old for this sheet. And he's got his candy corn colored booze in his hand. It's just fun. Oh, guys. So let me know what you think. Comedy of errors, I feel like this one was. But I think, again, keeping it real, because we all mess up. So let's share how we fix our blunders, right? So this was mine on this particular card, and in the end, if you didn't know that I had made all those mistakes, you may not know it. I mean, as you're seeing these close-ups, you can kind of see where the stamping is blurred in the back, but again, it just kind of adds to that ethereal feel, if you will, to a Halloween card. Can you mess up a Halloween card? I don't know. Anyway, guys, this has been Nancy, the Handy Scandy for Whimsy Stamps. Thank you so much for joining me. We would love to see you over on our Facebook group, as well as Pinterest and Instagram. And until next time, guys, thanks again for spending some time with me. Give us a like, a subscribe, all the good things. And until next time, I'm out. Mwah.